So welcome again to our channel and it's another video lesson for today. Creative nonfiction pa rin po tayo. At ang lesson nga ay personal narrative. Ang sabi dito, it is based on memory of an event or experience or moment in time that had significant meaning to us. And our task is to tell a story or a true story about a turning point in our lives. So this is a true story na pwede nating gawin, which is about illness, disease, death, journey, quest, no? Mga pilgrimage, first encounters natin, mga mysteries na we want to solve, investigations, mga rituals, no, ng iba't ibang groups na nasaksihan natin. It could also be a game, no, na ngayon lang natin na experience, and of course, performances, events, and so on and so forth, no? In other words, kahit anong event or experience that actually happened to us, no, pwede sila in this personal narrative na type of creative nonfiction. Kaya naman, para makagawa tayo nito, dapat halongkatin natin yung ating memory talaga, no? Kasi nga, ang goal natin is to look back into our memory. Magkakaroon tayo ng trip down to our memory lane, no? Sa ating past, and we have to unearth through stories na may mga significant meaning sa atin. That is why, ang tawag din dito is memoir essay, which means that we are writing a true story about a slice of our life, no? And we have to take note na this is only based on a brief span of time, no? Hindi siya yung buong buhay natin. At dagdag pa rito, pwede nating makita yung mga samples ng personal essay or narratives sa mga magazines, literary journals, newspapers, at saka mga dyaryo. So, ayun po. Pag-usapan natin ngayon yung mga techniques paano makabuo ng isang personal narratives. Una, fiction devices. At ang sabi dito, this include writing scene, component of a story, and the show and tell element. So kung mapapansin natin, yung mga techniques in writing a fiction ay same sa ginagamit dito, no? Kasi nga, sample ito ng creative nonfiction. At ang nonfiction, though based on facts siya, dapat we write it creatively, di ba? Maganda ang latag ng kwento. Yung mga literary elements na diniscuss na natin sila sa previous video, di ba? Ayun, so balikan na lang natin yung video mismo. And yung mga fiction devices natin like dialogue, the settings, the characters, so hinahati sila in 3 parts, no, pagdating sa fiction devices. Una is the writing of the scene, no? And we all know na ang scene, it includes details of the setting, saan o kailan ginanap ang kwento, no? Yung atmosphere, the culture, kasama lahat doon, di ba? The actions, kasama pa rin dyan. The dialogues ng mga characters, and yung vivid description mismo ng eksena, di ba? Even the characters and their characterizations, dito sila kasama, no, sa writing scene. Followed by the components or tinatawag nating elements of a story. Dito naman, pasok na yung inciting incident and the obstacles or the conflict, no? So, marami naman tayong iba't ibang uri ng conflict, no? Nandiyan yung man versus self, no? Ayan, man versus destiny, man versus machine, or kung ano pa ang possible. And of course, the climax or the turning point, no? Sinasabi natin the exciting part ng story. And of course, the resolution, paano ito ngayon matatapos, no? Yung kwento. And the last part is the showing and the telling. In here naman, as we have to tell the reader paano yung summary, no? Paano pwedeng ma-condense yung kwento, especially the passage of time. Dito pasok yung paggamit natin ngayon ng mga point of views, pag-set ng tone or voice ng story, and of course, yung style natin na gagamitin to write it. No? Next naman, makakatulong to effectively create a personal narrative ay ang tinatawag nating poetic devices. No? And this includes figures of speech, the symbolism, the sensory imageries. No? But it doesn't mean na tula yung gagawin natin. So actually, these poetic devices ay very helpful and gamitin talaga sa pagsulat ng anumang literary pieces, no? Be it non-fiction or fiction. And when a writer uses poetic devices to convey information, yung writing niya is nagiging entertaining to read, no? Tsaka yung mga best writers talaga, they used to create memorable prose and story using these poetic devices. No? So, mag-start tayo sa figures of speech. Kasama dyan yung mga simile, which uses like and as in comparing things. The metaphor, which is a direct comparison of two things, no, or two ideas, personification, wherein we give human attributes sa mga inanimate objects, di ba? Sa metonymy, we also have the hyperbole, which is an exaggeration, oxymoron, and of course the onomatopoeia, which is um, sound device naman yung mga yan. No? At marami pang types of figures of speech na we can apply na magpapatingkad sa ating personal narrative. We also have the symbolism o yung mga tinatawag nating sa kwento na mga representations lamang sila. No? Hindi sila mismo yung ganong bagay, no? Meron silang piniplay na important role doon sa kwento. Like for example, ang manika ng isang bata or yung doll, di ba? It can represent his or her childhood memories, di ba? Yung mga footprints, ganyan, no? Possible mag-represent siya ng mga generational. Like, kung nabasa nyo na yung kwentong Footnote to Youth, no? At marami pa, no? Na mga uri ng symbolisms. And of course, the sensory imageries, ayan, meron na tayong video dyan. And they help also to steer, no? Yung ating mga senses or pandama. Nagre-register yan sa ating sight, sa ating smell, taste, touch, and even hearing. At sabi nga, may video na tayo dyan and you can rewatch it. Mahalaga rin na pag nagsusulat tayo ng personal narrative, gamitin natin yung modes of expressions, and these are the three types. We have the scenes, the summary, and the personal reflections. Ayan po, no? Again, we have yung scene para ito sa mga important na events, not just sa climax, ha? Kahit saang part ng story ito. And yung scene natin, it includes the setting, the action, the dialogue, and the vivid description, particularly ng event, and of course, the characters. Next is the summary. Ginagamit natin to summarize and to compress, no, the time at saka yung mismong event. No? And madalas itong ginagamit din to tell our readers certain things that are not so much significant. Kagaya ng background information, nung ating background information natin, and of course, yung mga parang profiling lang siya, no? And para naman sa personal reflection, so it includes our thoughts, our feelings, no? Our opinions, mga personal perspective natin, ayan, no? Tungkol sa event na iyon ng ating buhay, which result in a turning point. No? Ayun yung pinakamahalaga. Tinatawag nating epiphany. Diba? So, na-discuss na natin yan on the previous video din. And the last na pwede natin gamitin is the angles and the details. No? So, sabi dito, specific and vivid details and a catchy angle. Ano yung pwede natin gawin? No? We have to show the reader, show and tell the readers ano ba yung nangyari talaga through providing concrete and specific details, pati ng mga vivid descriptions. No? Para nang sa ganon, na-visualize nila ng maayos kung ano mga nangyayari talaga. No? And it should be based on significant elements, no? Ng story na maglilid sa kanila doon sa exciting part or climax, no? Kasi kailangan natin silang ma-hook, and ma-hook lang sila if they can perfectly visualize everything na sinasabi natin. And of course, our story needs an angle or way to tell the story, and this angle lets us know what to include na we can effectively do, no? Using quotation or using question, kagaya ng what if, ganyan, no? Kasi para doon, nasiset na natin na, dito iikot yung ating kwento. Parang theme ulit, no? Ayan. So, by setting angles, nasiset natin ano yung magiging direksyon ng ating kwento na pwedeng i-anticipate na agad ng ating mga readers, no? And, ayun din yung magdidikta kung babasahin ba talaga nila yung kwento natin or not. Kaya, dapat magaling tayo pumili ng anggulo. And of course, sa pagsulat ng personal narrative, kailangan natin i-consider yung structure niya, no? And the structure consists of the problem, the struggle, the epiphany, and the resolution. So, alam naman natin, our problem is, it describes, no? Ano yung mismong scenario or yung mismong event, no? Into details. Kasi ayun na may pinaka-goal din natin, no? Kasama dito yung significant event ng ating buhay na sabi ko nga pwedeng mag-lead sa kanila para magkaroon ng crisis, no? And of course, the struggle, ito yung conflict na nangyayari ngayon, di ba? From a problem, ano yung mga naging struggles natin ngayon, no? Na experience. Po pwede silang external, ibig sabihin outside forces, no? And internal, ibig sabihin, it could be our mind, our psyche, no? Ayan, it's within us lang, no? These are the obstacles or the setbacks, no? Na po pwedeng kumurot sa puso ng mga makakabasa. Kasi makaka-relate sila doon. And of course, the epiphany, it is yung problem natin, tsaka yung struggle natin, they always create an epiphany, no, sa ating buhay. Tinatawag nating turning point, yung aha moment, di ba? Na parang nagkaroon na ng realization na ito yung problema ko, tapos ito yung mga denials kong struggle, no? And then, dahil sa mga problem na yon, ito yung na-realize ko sa buhay ko, di ba? Yan, it is a flood of new understanding. No, the epiphany transforms our story from merely an anecdote, no, from a plain experience into a personal narrative that is very significant, no? Kasi meron siyang essential meaning na kailangang ma-transfer or ma-share sa iba, no? Kasi yung meaning niya is napaka-essential, no, na ma-absorb nila. And of course, the resolution. So what you have done differently since you had the epiphany na parang eto yung realization moment ko, ano naman ngayon naging actions mo para matapos talaga yung struggle mo sa buhay. No? Ayan. So, ayun yung tatandaan natin and we can build a good personal narrative or personal essay. And natapos na lang po natin ang isang video lesson for the creative nonfiction at nawa tumutok kayo ulit sa mga susunod pa natin videos dito lamang sa ating channel Grammarian Rivera at salamat po!